Right. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Todd Tries Music, episode 3. Um, Thank you very much for being here with me. If you made it through the first two, uh, I don't know. Hopefully, it's maybe a different type of content than you commonly see. That's really what I'm striving for. I'm trying to bring you into my life. That's really the goal. I'm trying to tell the story of my journey through this musical space, and just other aspects of my life as well. So to that end, this episode is actually going to be a little bit different, probably than any other episode I'll ever do, honestly. Um, in order to properly tell my full story here, there is a very significant life event that I have to go into and explain. Um, so the last rehearsal that you saw from the last episode, that was like February 19th, 2022. Um, and so what happened is my dad passed on February 27th, so 8 days after that video. He had a long battle with heart problems. It probably goes back 30 years when he first had issues. Um, just had some blocked arteries and things like that. He benefited very well from some modern science. Had the stents put in. He had like angioplasty, and it did really well for him. And he shifted his diet and all that kind of thing. But it eventually caught up with him. So um, I guess if you go into right around pandemic time, around then, he ended up having a heart attack. Uh, and the previous problems he had was it never went to the level of a heart attack. It was just it was the blocked arteries. It was the hypertension, whatever. But it wasn't an actual heart attack where your heart is really significantly damaged. So when he was about 82, in sometime 2020, that summer of 2020, he had a real heart attack. And he was a guy, if you go back to that time just before that, he was a guy at 82 years old. He probably could have passed for 65. He's just always been that kind of guy, just a really, really vibrant, lively, amazing shape for his age, always moving around, always doing things with he'd run around the house with the grandkids. He was still like getting up on the roof. As much as we tried to stop him from doing things like that, he would go up on the roof. He was doing things like laying pavers, and all this stuff would happen when we didn't know. I wouldn't let this happen if I was there to keep an eye on the guy, but he was just, he's one of these old school stubborn guys that you couldn't tell what to do. And so, that's just who he was. We couldn't, you couldn't tell him anything. But really great guy. I mean, he's just one of these people who he was always there, always there. He would leave work early to come to my sports events, things like that. He made it to anything I ever did. I mean, he was that guy. He's that guy that would make time for the people he loved. My mom and my dad, very stable relationship. They did a great job raising us. I'm always very thankful to them. And he showed me a lot of tough love. That was really his style. It was a tough love kind of style. And I think in the moment when you're younger, you can kind of resent it a little bit. But you look back on it in later years and you realize, like, that guy really built my character. He's the reason, like, I'm the person that I am today. He just lived one of these like storybook type lives too. Like, he never missed a day of school during his entire school career, the whole way through kindergarten, through high school. I mean, absolutely absurd. He just didn't get sick. The flu would go around, and everybody in the house would get deathly ill. I would catch every single thing. I don't know when immune systems were being handed out. I don't know how I wasn't given one of those that he got. You know, I would have paid a lot for what he got, but I just didn't. So like I'm the guy who gets sick. But yeah, like he never missed a day of work either. That was the other crazy. He's got plaques for this stuff. You know, this is like proven facts. It's mind blowing. I don't know anyone else in my life like that. So it's kind of like, you know, everybody's got these Paul Bunyan type stories about their dad, but the crazy thing is he really does have some that are truly legitimate. Um, yeah, so you know, I just wanted to make sure I said a few things about him. We did this kind of celebration of life thing for him. We wanted to keep it positive feeling. That was the kind of guy he was. You know, just having some somber, whatever type event just didn't seem like it would fit him. So, you know, we had a nice celebration of life. We put together this slide, a couple different slides of photos, and when you look back through it, like the pictures that he and my mom took, my mom was this pretty blonde. He's this like dashing like Asian guy. I mean, they were just. It looked like they were just crushing it in the '70s, you know, with their bell bottoms. I remember my mom showed me some photos like when they went to Korea, and you just see this big pack of kids following them around because I guess they looked like movie stars or something. Like they probably never, you know, they never saw this like, you know, this fairly tall, like pretty blonde chick before. I can't believe I just said that about my mom, but whatever. Um, but yeah, so you know, again, I just wanted to like invite you into my life a little bit and share this story that, you know, this kind of, I don't want to say derail, but it just, you know, I didn't touch the music stuff for a couple months. So my dad passed, and I was down there in Tom's River staying with my mom for about 2 months, just keeping her company, and eventually got back to the stuff about 2 months later. So now, yeah, I'm just going to show you like a little bit of a slideshow, and then we can move on to some other stuff. Okay. Okay. So, okay, here we go. We're going to talk about my dad for a bit. This first photo, this is just like how I think most people think of my dad. The big beaming smile. You could just kind of one of those people who could just light up a room like that. And you know, not in a sense of like, oh, look at me, but not only attention on himself. He just was that guy. Like he just was a really generous, like really outgoing in a really friendly kind of way type of guy. This is him like emceeing at a family reunion we had, and I had never really seen him in this kind of light before, so it was really fascinating to see it, to see him telling jokes up there. He was real confident and cool, and like, you know, had a really you know, just kind of a fun vibe. You know, again, just ripping jokes left and right. Like you know, it was cool in front of our large extended family. So you know, that was really cool to see. Um, yeah, this is him at a pretty young age. I forget the exact. I think it's written on the back of this photo. You know, I did a lot of like photos of photos. Um, yeah, just I don't know, cool looking dude. I think he might be on his farm. They grew up on like an apple farm, so it's possible he's there. As my dad in the upper right, number 22, the quarterback, just looking cool as usual. This crazy, yeah, you know, what do you call that, crew cut or whatever that's called. I believe that's what it's that like Biff from Back to the Future type cut. But you know, that's just the guy he was. You know, he was a real jock. This is a hilarious photo. It's so my, you know, my dad's here again. One of the two number 22s, which is pretty odd. Just noticed that. But towards the like the middle to the right, one guy in from the left, number 54. Hilariously, that is Chuck Norris. Uh, confirmed by my dad. You know, he used to tell us the stories of it. Apparently, Chuck wasn't that great at football. He was something like a third stringer or something. So I guess that just goes to like my dad's Paul Bunyan heritage of, you know, he was like the starter on the team, and Chuck Norris was like a third stringer or something like that. So sorry, Chuck. I can feel the roundhouse kick like just coming right through the internet and knocking me off my chair right now. But I don't know. It is what it is. Yeah. Knocking 127 flat. That's the comment there in the yearbook. Just hilarious, like seeing these photos of my dad. And commentary where it's like, I mean, that's like a similar nickname that I had when I was in high school. So just absolutely hilarious to see that in a yearbook. This is my mom, my dad, very close to their wedding day, cutting the cake, whatever. You know, you can just see like this sort of prototypical 70s couple, 60s, 70s couple. Yeah, so, you know, I like that photo. This is my favorite photo I think I've ever seen of my parents. Um, my mom just looking, you know, too pretty to like to do anything else. Like, not lifted a finger to help him carry this mattress down the street. I believe they're in Korea. It's just, you know, the really fascinating thing for me about this photo, I just wonder like who took this photo. Like, you know, the staging, you know, there's people walking by, you see them looking over. My mom's not really smiling, you know, so it's just kind of like, did they stage this? Did somebody run ahead and like sort of get this sort of like candid shot of them? But it's just so perfect. Like it's just so perfectly framed and everything. You know, it's just one of the best photos I've ever seen in my life. So yeah, I thought that was fun. My dad really loves hats, so this is actually just a chunk of his collection. He's got like quite a bit more than this, but yeah, he was always funny with them. Like he had these certain ones that he really loved. He would wear them over and over again, but you would see him in a hat a lot of the time. And yeah, there he is, the dapper, dashing Mr. Steal Your Lady. uh, you know, it's yeah, I love this photo. Just really like cool James Dean looking type photo. The black and white is perfect. It's fun with the BMW in the background. Even we actually had one very similar to that. It looks like the like 2002. It's called BMW that we had growing up. So yeah, I just really like this photo too. Okay, that's enough. You know, I don't want to dwell on this too much more. But yeah, that's the slideshow. Oh, okay. So thanks again for joining me on this really different journey today. You know, again, it's just something I needed to get through. I wanted to tell my story properly, and I think this was kind of the only way to do it. I guess I didn't know I was gonna like share all these photos and things, but I don't know. It just kind of seemed right, just to just to kind of express the impact um, that my dad had on my life and all that kind of thing. So yeah, again, like this is probably a one of one total departure from the normal type of content here. I'll be back to music and just kind of what I guess what you expect if you're that one of those like five people out there that's currently watching my content. But yeah, thanks again, and you know I'll see you soon. I'm actually maybe gonna try to record another episode even tonight, so we'll see.